Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, yes, 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 so he is. It's the year of Jubilee. Hey, our Zion's dead.
Good evening, everyone, and a happy new year to all of you. 2 Kings chapter 13, reading verses 20 and 21. The Bible says, "And Elisha died, and they buried him. And the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year." At the coming in of the year. And it came to pass, as they were burying a man, that behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. Tonight's message, when the Moabites come. When the Moabites come. Let us pray, dear God. Without you, we can do nothing. You know exactly what each one of us needs to hear as we stand on the threshold of a new year. Take these simple words, "I am behind the cross." Take the glory to yourself. Only speak with us one more time. In Jesus' name, amen. What was 2016 like for you? What was 2016 like for you? Was it the year you'd like to live right through again? Or just plain forget? Was the year such a wonderful year, full of blessings and good things and successes, that you would rejoice to proceed through this year just like 2016? Or was the year so burdensome that you would rather forget it? Whatever you choose, the advancing years roll on, and their flight we cannot stay. With the past forever gone, all their glories pass away. What was 2016 like for the world? You read about some of the events. They say that Russia had a hand in Donald Trump's election. The news says that 20,000 fish and dead animals showed up on the shores of Nova Scotia in Canada. There was an attempted coup, July 15, in Turkey. Just some of the events of the year. Sri Lanka had a 5-year plan. They said, in 5 years, we are going to get rid of malaria in Sri Lanka. And this year, they concluded that we have eradicated malaria from Sri Lanka. Believe it or not, there are only two kinds of experiences that we can have in any year. Positive experiences or negative experiences. Positive ones that cause us to rejoice and to say every day, this is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Experiences that make us happy, that make the heart warm, that make us rejoice, that make us look forward with joyful anticipation to the future. And then there are some sad experiences that tug the emotions of the heart with sorrow and pain. And we cry out, God, where art thou? Only two experiences. You could either have the experience of invasion, as it were, by Moab, or you could have the experience, whether related or experienced directly, of life, like what happened to this man who was let down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says, 2 Kings chapter 13 and verse 20. And Elijah died, and they buried him, and the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year. Are you with me so far? They say the coming in of the year, the Jewish year, began in the month of Nisan, corresponding to our April. Began in the month of Nisan in accordance with the Levitical laws. That was the time when spring was in the air. And armies would choose that time for the military campaigns because they could live off the land, And when they entered the territory that they hoped to capture, they would find growing grain and a lot of food and harvest and spoil. So they chose that time as the time to engage in military campaign. So lo and behold, on this day, the Moabites, entering of the year, perhaps somebody looked out of the window and saw one soldier, then two soldiers, then a band of soldiers. An invasion was in progress. The Moabites came and they brought with them death and woe and sorrow. Firstly, it always hurts, when the pain comes from those close to us. The Bible says the Moabites invaded the land. Who are the Moabites? Lot's two daughters had sex with their father. They made him drunk and they had sex with him. And that was the first case of incest. And so the first daughter conceived, and she called the child Moab. They say Mo means from, and Al-Father, from the father. The Moabites, when Israel, they were journeying from Egypt to Canaan, they begged permission to pass through the land of Moab. And they said no. They said no. And now it's the same Moabites who were waging war against their relatives, because Lot was Abraham's nephew. Abraham was the father of the Hebrew people. And so now, as it were, their cousin coming to wage war against them. It always hurts, when the pain comes from those close to us, from family and friends, from husbands and from wives and from church people. The pain is deeper when the pain comes from those close to us. And perhaps, God forbid, in 2017, somebody here may be touched by pain from someone close. God forbid, I don't wish it for you. But just like the Israelites did not wish invasion by their cousins, it perhaps might be your experience in 2017. With the invasion came a very bad attitude. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 48. Jeremiah 48. It seems as though the Moabites were a very warlike people. Warlike people with high temper. People who are ready to become upset at the drop of a hat. Jeremiah chapter 48, God is pronouncing judgment against Moab. Verse 4, Moab is destroyed. And then it says in verse 30, 29 and 30, speaking of Moab, we have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. And then verse 30 says, I know his wrath. I know his wrath. So they were coming against Israel with a vengeance. But I want to posit tonight that Moab wasn't coming against Israel with their inherent wrath. It was the devil working his wrath through them to give Israel trouble. Are you with me? The Bible says, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, but woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you, what? Having what? Great wrath, because he knows he hath but a short time. So, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the devil, who is also a roaring lion, will come against you this year with his hellish wrath. Remember, we studied Job this quarter. Remember what happened to Job? We get some good news, Justin, don't worry. Remember what happened to Job? In a short space of time, it seemed, Job lost his children, 10 of them. Job lost his possessions, his cattle, his sheep, everything. The question is, will you still serve God if you lose everything? Not some things, everything. And then sometimes we can't deal with the status. One time, the greatest man in the East, and the next moment, as poor as a pauper. One time, living in Bradoville. Next time, living in... You see, some folk can deal with the status. Loss of status. Nobody calling you Mr. anymore and Mrs. anymore and showing you deference. All is gone. The devil poured his wrath on the children of Israel. And then also that year, he didn't only have invasion, but I would like to suggest, based on the word, that the Moabites came with all their evil and their wickedness and their ungodly customs. They brought with them when they invaded Israel. Now I like, maybe somebody is saying, well, preacher, maybe, would the people, a conquered people, really assimilate the customs of their captors? I worked for 8 years and 6 months in the Rupununi. Lived in Lebanon. Just a river separates Lebanon from Brazil. The Takatu River. So there's a mixture. Brazilians would come over, Chinese would go over to Brazil. You don't even have to look so far. You would discover that some of the culture from Brazil is seeping in to let them, or has seeped in to let them. So you hear people playing Brazilian music for home, eating Brazilian food, beef and pigeon, wearing Brazilian clothes, straps and so on. And some are even fluent in Portuguese because they live at the border, and the influence of the neighboring territory has affected many in Lebanon. So when the Moabites came, they brought their idols very polytheistic people. They served many gods. Chemosh, one of them. Another was Ashtar. Another one was Baal Peor. And they even involved themselves in human sacrifice. And you said, come on, preacher. Did Israel assimilate that? You're reading the Bible that King Ahaz caused his sons to pass through the fire. Be careful what is influencing you at this time. We got some church folk want to dress like the world. They know more of the songs in the world than the hymns in church. They can repeat them word for word, but they cannot repeat the Beatitudes. Be careful what is influencing you. Be careful of the friends you keep. They say friends are like elevators. They could either take you up or bring you down. The Bible says also that evil communication corrupt good habits. Imperceptibly, you sit with the guys around the corner long enough. You talk with them long enough. After a while, you two will begin to curse. You two will begin to talk about sex and women. You two will want to skip church. Be careful of the influence that we are absorbing around us. Listen to foolish music. After a while, by the way, I heard sometime in a cassette presentation when we had TV cassettes about people becoming demon-possessed listening to rock music. And they said what was happening. They did research. The singers would go to Burundi, the village in Africa. The sound of the drum that was used to invoke evil spirits. Are you hearing me? They take that beat and then they inject it into the rock music. So when people carry it home and they lock it in the room or put it on the iPad or whatever, listen, it's as if they're calling demons to come around them, invoking evil spirits, and they wonder why they can't sleep and why they are restless and why there's a strange atmosphere in the house and why they're seeing stuff. Then some try to take refuge not in Jesus, but in God rings. I knew a girl who was possessed and she had on a God ring. God will not give you, protect you. It's just a stamp the devil said, yeah, I got the marriage to me here. Get ring. The influence. By the way, it is also reasonable to assume that they were influenced because the Moabites influenced Israel before. Numbers chapter 25. Let's go to Numbers chapter 25. Reading from verse 1 to 3. Numbers, what book is it, everybody? Numbers, which chapter? 25. The Bible says, and Israel abode in Shittim, and the people, Israel, began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people of Moab, and they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods. And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. The Israelites began to dance. Like what is happening now? You get brethren dancing at the wedding. Because the word is saying, the bride and groom will take the first dance. Everybody wants to dance now, eh? And the distinction between the Christian and the non-Christian is becoming blurred. But God wants us to be distinct and distinguishable with a distinction that is distinct. Must know us. So they were influenced by the Moabites. And then as the Moabites invaded the land, can you imagine Israel looking into the year with dreadful foreboding? Elisha the prophet died sometime before, and if you read in 2 Kings Israel went to see Elisha the prophet. And he wept, and he wept. 2 Kings 13 and verse 14 says, Now Elisha was fallen sick of the sickness whereof he died. And Joash, the king of Israel, came down unto him, and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. Joash was having trouble in his territory. His army was decimated. In verse 7 of 2 Kings 13, he only had 10 chariots and 50 horsemen. So they saw Elisha as they hoped. He would rather have no chariot. Are you there? No chariot and no horsemen, but Elisha the prophet within, symbolizing the power of God, that do not have Elisha. So he said, Oh my father, you would die now. Where shall I go? Where shall I go when there's no one else to turn to? Who do I turn to when all hope is gone? And then to add insult to injury, the Moabites invaded the land. Can you imagine them sitting in their front doors with doleful eyes, looking at the soldiers passing back and forth, watching them taking their harvest and they can't do anything, wondering how they will provide for their children, wondering if they'll be able to take that walk to the priest to get some medicine for some sick child. They watch the year with foreboding. But ladies and gentlemen, let's turn the corner now. As we face 2017, we have no need to fear because God is with us. What do you say? God is with us. In Jeremiah chapter 48, we have there God's judgment against Moab. Moab will not be left to run riot over God's people. God says, I will destroy Moab. Jeremiah chapter 48 and verse 12. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people. And if you read in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, one day Jehoshaphat awoke. Listen again. The Ammonites, the Moabites, and the Edomites, all of them came against Israel. Guess what? Cousin against cousin. Because the Edomites, descendants of Esau, the Ammonites, descendants of Lot's younger daughter, and the Moabites, Lot's older daughter, all of them coming together, distant relatives of Israel, to fight against Israel. So when the devil comes with his wrath against us in 2017, we have no need to fear. Are you there? When the devil comes against us with his wrath, we have no need to fear. What do you say? What the Bible says, God is our refuge, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will we not fear, because God is with us. By the way, the devil, who is the source of wrath, one of these days he too will be destroyed. Because Ezekiel says in Ezekiel 28 that God says, I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, out of the midst of the fire. One of these days, Satan will be destroyed. That is why it makes sense not to serve him. He is going down. He is going down. Revelation 20 says that he will be cast into the lake of fire. When we go through 2017 and the devil tries to weave his influence around us, may God give us wisdom to discern his whisperings, to discern his suggestions. You know, We got some good friends and we got some bad friends. Now, Absalom's brother Amnon was in love with his sister Tamar. His sister, apparently by another mother. So he was there just sad, looking at the girl, admiring her. He didn't know what to do. You know, like sometimes you see a nice girl and you don't know what to say. Watching, and so his friend came to him and said, look at here, man. You want her? You want to sleep with her? This is what you do. You get a lot of tablets around you and you pretend that you're sick. And then you send word to the king. Ask the king to let Tamar come and cook for you in this house. Are you following me? We're talking about the influence, evil influence. And he took the advice of this so-called friend. When he already came to the house, he said everybody else go out of the house, maid and servants and everybody else. They went out. And then he said, Tamar, bring the food to my bedside. At the friend's suggestion, and he grabbed her, and he forced her. He had sex with her. The Bible says, the hatred that he had for her after he had sex with her was greater than the supposed love, which is really lust, he had for her. All at the suggestion of a so-called friend. And if you would survive 2016, some of us will have to drop some friends. Putting it simply and maybe a little rough, but you need to delete some folk from WhatsApp and from Facebook. Block them and delete their numbers. If not, they will track you down. And you'll come to the end of 2017 worse off than you are today, because any service that is for the devil will bring us down. Are you the preacher tonight? Beware of evil influences. No wonder David says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Are you there? Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of his counsel. First of all, there's a progression. First you walk, then you stand, then you sit, then you run. Like folk who say, I am not going to drink beer in the party. I'm just going to go and I'm going to drink Malta. But you're in the party. You're in the party. And all the music around you. And all the demons in the place are hovering over you. And perhaps the only way you made it out alive is because your mother prayed for you, or the prayer warriors prayed for you, or the pastor prayed for you, or the elder prayed for you, or the church prayed for you.
The name of Jesus, that sweet name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, there is life today. The name of Jesus, that sweet name of Jesus.